it's another thing that is happening or opening up for you. Do you understand? So the meeting is open now. No, it shouldn't. It won't do. I think you have to come in again. Yes. Good. I see you. Great. We're here. I like being on the left side. I don't even know how to move that right now. So I'm going to WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's fine. Put it on silent.
And we are now live on Zoom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you. Okay, so you're going to hear something like a short introduction to the topic, and then you're going to hear something that is pretty much like a TV or radio show. I'm still learning at it. I'm not even a voiceover artist or anything like that. So, when you hear that, I'm going to hear the welcome, and then I'll direct the welcome to you yourself. You respond, and then we continue from there. I am
going to respond. What I respond, just saying hi to me. Thank you guys for.
Yeah, just respond, say whatever it is you want to say. But I'm going to try as much as possible to make sure that I am not talking when you are talking. Zoom can be funny, yes. But if right now we're sounding good. So I'll try not to talk when you're talking. When you're talking and I'm not responding, do not fidget. Look at this. Do you see that thumbs up?
Yeah.
That's to tell you I am with you. You are on track, right? You are doing good, okay? Now, if you see this, it means that we should move to the next question. Like you should begin to touch down on your point.
I should be winding down.
Yes, on that point, because you know how people's attention span can be. So when you see this thing that is like waving, it's like telling you, let's move on, kind of.
But
when you hear this, it's like, so it's okay, that kind of thing. Yeah. So
is that part where maybe you can't hear me well? Maybe you want to speak louder or something?
There may not be. If we keep sailing like this, I think we're doing good. If there is anything I want you to do, as well speak louder or anything, I will type here. Do you see this?
Okay.
So if I notice you're looking somewhere else and you've not seen it, I'll just keep typing it until you see it. But did you see what I typed
now? I also look at I was sending on a message.
Do you see it? Do you see it now?
Yeah, I see type.
Good. Slash. So I would drop a note there if there is something I need you to quickly do. But that's pretty much that's pretty much what will be happening here in the next 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so let me just open up the question. My system could be hanging sometimes, but it's fine. I can even look at it from my phone. You can eat a little bit, oh. Jeon.
I can't eat while I'm talking now, so.
You can just start eating, don't worry.
Okay.
Or are you that type of person that once you start, you want to finish?
No, I can eat small. I'm like rat. I can eat small. What do I take my tea now? Nothing.
Only like rat. I'll be rat, no.
Just eating small. That is not that hard.
Expect some questions that are not in the script too, because
that's exactly. See, that's the reason why you're doing this. That's why I said I'd rather have a conversation, because I intentionally didn't want to read some of those things so that I don't have like a programmed mindset. Yeah, so I'd rather have it come from my head Because if I read it, then I'm trying to say, I'm trying to deliver a message. So in that comes, I'm trying to deliver a message. But once of the, I'd rather have like, you're just having a conversation with me, and whatever I say right now, it's just what's already in my head. Nothing, there's nothing new, nothing kept there 2 months ahead of time to deliver this message. So that's just it. I want to be as fair as possible. So if I make a mistake, let me learn from myself. Okay, maybe next time I'll go and cram.
There will be need for that. What church do you attend?
House on the Rock.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most frequent, how often do you go to church?
Right now, online, 0.
No, before online.
Before, okay, so maybe like 5 years, maybe 2 years prior to that, it was almost every day, every weekend. I mean, every Sunday. But a year prior to this lockdown, in 2019, I dropped it to twice a month.
Then 2020
Just
January,
because of the
February.
traffic. I know, House on the Rock, we have lots of traffic in terms of when we are done with service, we almost could spend almost 1 hour getting out of church.
Wow.
So I think that was taking a toll on me, and I was like, so why am I here when I could have just listened to this message online? So I started doing I'll do two Sundays at home, then 2 Sundays in church. Sunday church, I'll try to leave as early as possible for the service ends.
Okay, when we finish this, I'm going to just reward myself with some good sleep. I have some designs pending, but I barely slept all night. So let's just start. So can I start? All right, start.
What's that?
Can I start?
You want to start? Yeah.
Wait. Earpiece wolonlo.
I use the earpiece.
Yes, because there is echo.
Sorry?
There is echo.
Okay. Should I turn off the AC? Is it affected? No, because when I do videos, sometimes I turn off the AC because it affects it. When I do videos. Is it much better?
It's a lot better now. Can you speak? Ask again.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear
good.
me?
Yes, I think it's good.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to start recording now. My dear, it has been recording. Let's just continue.
Okay.
The edits will be done later. No, please avoid that.
Okay, so. Okay, so I'm listening.
Okay, so I'm starting now. Informal mentoring has always gone on, of course, and will continue. It happens when someone finds they can relate to and confide in a more experienced employee or a manager they admire. It needs not even be someone from work, provided that the mentor has a genuine interest in the growth and development of the person concerned. You are welcome to SOAR. And on today's episode, I am going to be discussing what mentoring is and its importance. With me today on this episode is TUNDE AKINDULURENI.
Yes. The mouthful, isn't it? Thank you, Tosin, for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Tunde. You are welcome. Let me just do a brief introduction of who you are to our listeners, and then we can get into the discussion of the day. Tunde is a seasoned travel consultant, an entrepreneur, a teacher, and a visionary leader. He has a strong vision to change the mindset of our youth today by teaching them how to create jobs, and he is very intentional about it. Having run a business in the Nigerian tourism industry and offered his services to some of the big giants in Nigeria and Africa for almost 10 years, you will agree that he definitely has a story to share. Tunde is an alumnus of Columbia Business School, Lagos Business School, Harvard Business School, and other reputable universities. He will be sharing with us today from his own thoughts, ideas, and experience about what mentoring is. Ladies and gentlemen, Tunde Akindulureni.
I can see you're trying to get my head to float to half of all those things. Yeah, who wrote them? Is it you? But I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. So today, I'd like you to just tell us a little bit more about yourself. Tell us your hobbies, the things you love to do in your leisure time, and stuff like that.
Generally, I love to travel. So even when I travel, I always like to take a book or two with me to just read and dive deep into it. But I'm also a key observer. I like to understand people. I think people either fix things or destroy things. And once you look at that, you want to spot those that will likely just destroy it and help fix them before they destroy things. So if you look at history, there are some significant men. If we look back, if people had fixed them, then maybe the world will not be exactly what it is. So for me, is to spend more time to observe people. And I think from observing people, you can actually learn a lot, understand who they are, and then also see that a lot of us are actually broken. So for me, observing allows me to fix, and then hopefully maybe change the world that way.
That's really deep. And, I know there is something about you understanding entrepreneurship, knowing that it's a process, no matter how many times people fail, having to bounce back. Is there something you'd like to share with us, in that regard?
Okay, so a wise man, once, told me this, that look, our failures and mistakes, are our best teachers. You need those failures and mistakes. Don't see them as something terrible. It's actually part of the package. It's if you don't have failures and this, then what do you really have to talk about? I mean, when you hear a lot of great people, when they talk, they don't really talk about their success. They talk about the challenges that they faced, how they had to go back to, remodel some of their plans. So they enjoy to talk about their failure, because sometimes the bigger the failure and the challenges, the more you can brag about it. If it was just easy, then what are you there to brag about? So that's what's all about for me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tunde. Now, let us get into the discussion of the day, because we haven't even started talking about the topic of today, and I am already taking notes. Just imagine that. Okay, so share with us briefly, what are your thoughts on the meaning of mentoring?
Okay, so a lot of time people confuse mentoring and coaching, and we think it's the same thing. But to me, mentoring, it's all about pouring knowledge to someone, while coaching is to teach the person how to do something, the process on which how someone can develop those attributes that the mentor actually talked about. So if I'm going to talk about an example of a mentor, so if you're in a workplace or somebody used to work in a particular field, and you meet up with the guy, hey, I'm in this field right now, what tips do you give me? He's just going to pour his knowledge out to you. Maybe someone that you've known from a distance, and he will just tell you real quick, okay, if you do this, do that, you should get some kind of key results. That's a mentor. He's not going to tell you the how to do it. But the coach is the guy that will give you those steps on how to get those things done. So in life, we actually need a mentor and also a coach. Two different people. Sometimes your coach can evolve to a mentor, but most times mentors never evolve to be a coach.
So if I get you correctly, what you're trying to say is that a lot of people just have others who teach them what to do. They just give them information. And yet
Yes, they just
they assume that those people are also coaching them on how to do it. But then that's not what is happening.
That's not what it is. So if you have a problem, maybe for instance, with your boss, and you go to someone that's the book can call Egbon, you know, you're back as someone that you respect a lot. Egbon, I'm having a problem here. You know, you've been in the banking sector. And the guy said, you know what? Be more assertive to your boss. You know, when you go to your boss, tell your boss, you know, your plan, let him be firm and blah, blah. When he leaves, you're like, so how do I become assertive to my boss? How do I'm scared though, you know? But Egbon is not going to tell you that. He's just going to tell you this is what you should do. It's when you now find somebody else that says, you know what, for you to be accepted, you have to go and read this, do more stuff like this, do a research in this. That's a coach. Now he's now taking you that basic step. Egbon has gone, he has said his own. But eventually what the Egbon has said is exactly what you will do eventually and will yield that result. But he doesn't have that time, or should I call it leisure time, to start teaching you on how to do it because he's too busy himself. Or he's on a level that you are trying to aspire to reach. So he doesn't have that time to coach you. And sometimes, even a lot of coaches may not even have reached that part that Egbon is on. So I don't know if you can permit you to use football, if you follow a little bit of football. So if you look at Champions League, for instance, okay, that's one of the biggest league a lot of top footballers want to play in. You know, it's where all the top European team come together and they play, and obviously they win the Champions League at the end of the season. Now, if you have a coach, your coach may never have actually played in the Championship League in his life, even when he was a player. He may just be maybe an average player, played in a lower division team, but that doesn't make him a bad coach. By the time he gets your team, right, maybe they employ him as a coach, he can actually take those players to that level, right? But that coach himself may actually be having tips from someone that actually played in Championship League during his career time and say, hey, guy, just do this. When you get to the finals, do that, not that. But as a coach himself may not have been there. The players too have not been there. But he knows the basic procedures on how to take, how to defend, how to goalkeeping will run. Those are the attributes you need to win the game. But when it now gets to the final, the mentor can just say, you know what, this is the final. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And he leaves the players. And the players will now turn to coach. Do you know what Egbon just said? I said, don't worry. I know what it means. Let's take these steps. It means we're going to do this. You won't play midfield today. We're going to switch this around. That's the coach. Taking those steps one by one to guide the players. Eventually, they win the Championship League. So two people has helped them, the coach and the mentor. Two different people.
Okay, great. So what we're trying to say in essence is that the coach is likely to tell you just everything you are going to experience, right? And
yeah,
then the person also tells you, if you do it this way, you're likely to get this and this. And then with the mechanism of the feedback structure, you know, you can revert and say, these are the challenges I have faced, or they can also tell you ahead of time that these are the challenges you're going to face and this is what you should do next, you know, in order to combat or overcome that challenge. So it comes to bear, you know, this popular saying about experience being the best teacher. You don't have to go through certain experiences. You can just ride upon the wings of the people who have gone ahead of you, and then you can take what they have learned and apply it in your own context. Thank you very much, Tunde, for exposing that to us. So now we know that the myth has just been busted now. You cannot just really call someone your mentor without checking properly, you know, is this person telling me just what to do, or is this person telling me both what to do and how to do it? Thank you.
The how, especially the how.
Yes, I'm going to go on to the next question now, after which we will go on a short break. Now, for you, is mentoring different from role modeling? By this, I'm trying to say that, you know, there are people who, they just don't want to have anything to do with that respected person. Either they do not have access to the person at all, or even when they have access to the person, they just don't want to be that up close to the person. but they want to stand afar off, knowing fully well that mentoring, well, they know or they think that mentoring can take place even though the person is afar off, because the person will be sharing, so whether by observation or by studying, whatever it is they want to do, they will take tips from the person's lifestyle and keep on, emulating such individual. For me, that is role modeling.
Yeah.
Now, do you prefer this kind of learning from mentoring or from coaching? How do you see them?
So I think they all have their own place, in what to play in people's lives, So a role model, a lot of time, just kinds of gives you a narrative of their lives and things that they have done or will do in some certain situations. That's why a lot of time I like to read a lot of autobiographies, or of people, whereby they actually just tell you or they write some of the scenarios or parts of their lives. And then you now start to, reimagine yourself in those positions that, okay, so this is what this guy did in this situation. So eventually, hopefully, if you're in that kind of situation or context in that same way, you could apply some of those wisdoms to them. Now, a lot of role models generally are always far apart from us. You could be president of maybe one country. You like the way he handled his 4 years or 8 years in office, or it could be a speaker. You like the way he handles all his speaking careers, the way he's able to manage people on top. Those people, like I said, you may not be close to them, but guess what? Because they've written things, you watch them, especially observe. That's why I say I like to observe. Once you observe people, what you do, you start to emulate them. You only observe people you admire. And when you admire someone, you like to copy. Think about it. It's like the way toddlers admire their parents. That's the first role models they have. Think about it. Toddlers want to model their lives around their parents. When you, for instance, you eat on a dining table, toddlers want to eat on that dining table with you. They want to use the spoon you're using. If you say you go to the bathroom and you want to brush your teeth, toddlers don't like the fact that the sink is really far above their head. They'll like to get a stool and stand on that stool and do the same thing you're doing. They're modeling what you're doing. If they look at the staircase, they know that everybody's climbing the staircase. Why can't they climb? They don't want to be carried. They have that self-motivation. I don't want you to carry me. I also want to do what you're doing. You get my point? And that's how life is. So what models just do what they're doing, you now start to copy. It's all about copying, imitating. Then as you go along, you now start to adapt what suits you a bit better and what works for you. So for me, they all have a place in human life. And for you to have an enriching life, I think it's difficult to find one person that has all those attributes, being a coach, being a mentor, or something. We do have one, man. That's probably Jesus. But averagely, I think it might be 3 different individuals that you admire. I could say I model my life around, say, President Obama. But when it comes to a mentor, it's somebody else that I know I can reach maybe once in a year or once in a month, or someone I do business with, wow, that way older than me. So at least you can share some word with me. But I also have a coach, someone that says, okay, today, you're in this, you recently started speaking a little bit more. Okay, work more on your diction, work more on your graphics, work more on this. He's telling me things to do to better whatever service or product I'm trying to do. Mentor doesn't have that time. And the role model doesn't even know I even exist sometimes.
Tunde, you have given us a huge clarity for this. I mean, it's like you just settled the matter once and for all. So if you're out there listening, what we have been able to draw from this session thus far is that you need 3 categories of people in your life. I mean, if you can get them, all right? If you can, so you have the role model, you have the coach, and you have the mentor. Do not misplace these people for one another. Do not say you have
Absolutely.
a coach, a moral model. You do not say you have a coach when you have a role model. Do not say you have a role model when you have a mentor.
Yes.
Do not say you have a mentor when you have a coach. All right. So your coach is the person who is interested in the nitty-gritty and gives you feedback on all of those nitty-gritties. Now, your mentor is going to teach you certain things. He may not have the time to take your feedback on the implementation of what you have learned. And then the role model is that person who is a little bit far off, a little bit unreachable, but you so much admire the person, and then you pay attention to that person focus on that person, and then you begin to remodel and shape your life, to fall in place with what they have done and what you have seen in them. Thank you, Tunde. We are going to be right
Absolutely.
back after this break. Welcome back. This is Soar, and we have been discussing mentoring, importance of mentoring as well. And my guest is still Tunde Akindulureni. Tunde has been
Reni.
okay, Akindulureni.
AKINDULURENI,
Okay,
Akin, warrior, Dulu, came, Reni, settled. So we
warrior
came, we
king
saw, we conquered.
and settled.
We conquered Idori and we held it.
Wow, amazing. One of the things you said, before we went on break that actually stood out for me is the fact that you only observe people you admire. And that really struck me because I need to be more deliberate now about what I observe. If this is not something I admire, then it's probably not worth my attention. So it's not about where I am right now. It's about the things that I'm aspiring to be. So what do I surround myself with? What are the materials, that I surround myself with, the resources that I pay attention to? If they are not things that, are admirable, there's really no point, giving such time, focus, and attention to them. Thank you so much, Tunde. We're going to go on right ahead now to the next question. I'd like to know, has there been a point in time in your life when you had someone who was, or someone who was an active mentor in your life? This question is quite broad. I would want you to share with us some of the experiences you had in your value formative years. Maybe tell us some of the people who helped shape some values that you hold on to today, and how they were able to instill those values and discipline in you. All right. You can give us instances. You can tell us, those people, and then you can tell us how those values are helping you achieve success today.
Okay. For me, apart from our parents, so there are two key individuals that's really impacted me a lot. One is Mr. Ben Sioma. During this period of my life, we were in Angola. My parents, my dad was a diplomat, so we moved to Angola for a diplomatic mission. So we're there about 3-4 years. Angola then didn't have English-speaking schools, so my mom had to convert one room in the house to a school. So we had a teacher come over to teach us some of the basic subjects. So for Mr. Ben Shoma, I noticed that was the first time, when people teach kids, a lot of time they want to emphasize on the ideas, I'm instructing you, But Ben Shoma's method, he was from Zambia, and he was also on the radio station then in Luanda. But he loved to allow us to just be. So when he asks you a question, he asks you, so what do you think today? What would you do today? At that age, I'm like, think, do. After we're always laughing and smiling, but at the end of the day, whatever answer we gave, he never, he was never judgmental. He was like, so is that what you do today? I'm like, maybe not, maybe not. But slowly allowed all of us to be more confident about, what we said. And at one point, I was just never wrong when I say something. I'm like, I've said it. Uncle Ben Shoma agrees with me, I don't have to be right, So he allowed me to bring that side of me to be a bit more curious, more open, expressive. And then one part I really loved about him, then we had Bible study classes. A lot of people would just teach, just read it out. Ben Shoma would love to act the character. So you imagine a teacher just trying to act like a thief or act like Jesus, he would wear the robe. And so we all start laughing. So by the end of the day, each of those classes, we had a great picture of it in our heads. When he's talking about, Peter, when you talk about the, the Last Supper, he will try to create your classroom, the Last Supper, and he's, says, today you are Jesus, give us the bread. At the end of the day, we laugh, but at the end of the day, I got to understand that storytelling, making things more visual is easy for people to assimilate, and that's his own part he played in my life. Now, all through my life, my dad, like I said, was a civil servant. My dad, for him, he was more like, look, get your degree and go and get a job in the ministry. Government will take care of all your problems. My dad didn't really believe in entrepreneurship. What entrepreneurship did wasn't really very common then in the 80s or 90s. And my dad didn't even believe that a man can actually run a business successfully without itches. He just believed that if I run your business, it's probably fraud, or government is just giving you money, you're doing nothing. You can't really stand on your own. So while my days in university, my head was, okay, let me just get my degree and go and look for a job. But I picked up graphics because I love to draw. So I picked up graphics in university. Then I started doing logos and all this, just play around. On campus now, you're doing flyers for people. I started earning small money. I was like, this is not bad. At one point for a whole logo, I'm talking about, in the late 2000, 1996, 1997, 1998, yes. I could do a logo and someone could pay me maybe 50,000 naira for a logo. I was like, whoa, this is not bad. So at that point, I was like, maybe I can actually be a graphic designer.
And started.
Well, I was not sure about it. Yes. But eventually, just when I finished university, someone called me that I'd done a job for him and said there's a client that wants him to design a brochure. They can come over. So I went there. That's the first time I met Dr. Tari Coker. He's an architect. He has been running his architectural firm since before I was born. And that was the first time in my life I met someone that has been running his business for the last 30 years. Someone that has been consistent. I've never met any business owner, most people from a distance, that was really that successful. Just a guy that built, mobile residential quarters. He has built AIB building. I mean, he has built Transcorp Abuja. He has built a lot of really solid structures. Wow. And he has played a really role in the Nigerian field as an architect. So to in front of it, to be with him one-on-one, and for him to appreciate what I was doing on that level, I was shocked. It was like he liked what I was doing. So of course, a lot of people dropped their own submissions, but he saw mine and he said, look, he said, for right now, what he has seen, I shouldn't bother. I should just go ahead and start. And I was like, but what about the other guy? I said, look, Tunde, what you've done, it's way, way ahead. That's how he speaks, way, way ahead of everybody. I think it's great enough for me. Start tomorrow. And that just brought that kind of confidence in me that, man, I'm that good. And so I observed this guy, I observed the way he dresses. This guy, oh Lord, he's always on point when it comes to dressing. Then I'll still wearing jeans and t-shirt. I know this guy comes to office, wear his suit, look sharp. He's very respected, and he's very thorough with his job. He understands it. He has an archive of all his job. He arranged everything. So he'll tell you in 1976, I did this. Look at it, 1982, this is what I did. So my head, I was like, oh God, for you to achieve these things, you must have a good record-keeping process. You must have an archive. You must be very detailed, You must be able to work with people. He will tell you, like, oh, these are people he has worked with different projects. He will tell you that for you to execute some certain project, you need to work with a whole group of people. I learned to delegate better and manage people better. So for me, those are the two significant human beings that have impacted my life.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Values are important. And I like to share with people, my own experience of how I learned that it's important to greet. It's so funny if the little things that we learned and how those things distinguish and separate us from the rest of the pack. You just talked about giving people opportunity to express themselves and also being free enough to say what you think about certain issues. You could be in a company somewhere. I'm not saying an institution, but I mean in a group of people, and you will find something strange You, for instance, you will be quick to spot an autocratic leader, because you'll be like, why is this person insisting that things must be done this way when we haven't even aired our own opinion about it? Do you understand? And then you talked about how you learned how to be extremely organized, and how to dress well and all. Of course, I see you on Instagram. I see what you do. I see how beautiful and amazing the aesthetics are and everything. I realized that, okay, this person is not just a random guy doing things anyhow. He's very deliberate. He knows what he's doing, and that's because you learned it from someone. So
Absolutely.
the things we learn distinguish us from the rest of the pack. So I was saying something about how I learned the importance of greeting. This particular teacher, when I was in primary school, instilled that in me. I felt that if I have seen you already today, let's say I greeted you in the morning, if I see you again in the evening, maybe in another context, I can just walk by you because I've already seen you in the morning. What's the stress?
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that particular day, I had greeted her in the morning or so, and then I saw that I needed to pass by her again, and for some reason, I just went through another route, okay? And guess what? She blocked me on my road. And she said, why did I have to do that? And then I explained myself, and she said, no. The fact that I saw her, greeted her in the morning, does not mean I shouldn't greet her again. All right. So from that moment, I realized that there is no need for drama. If you see people in the morning, if you run into them again, please go right ahead and greet them as many times as possible. Just keep on greeting if if you can. So thank you very much, Tunde. We'll go on a break now, and when we come back, we will continue with the remaining few questions we have about mentoring, and then we wrap up the session. You are welcome back. I have been discussing with Tunde, and we have been talking about mentoring, certain things that we have learned, values that we have formed as a result of people who were strategically placed in our lives and helped us to form those values. All right, today I'm going to take that question a little bit further. You talked about 3 things that you learned, in those early years. One was about helping people understand, things better, helping people express themselves better. You talked about learning to be organized, learning to dress well, and also even learning to delegate in terms of, business and job role responsibilities and the rest of that. Now, tell me, how do you think lack of these things is affecting our society today? Let me explain it a little bit. Are there times when you encounter certain people and you wonder, why is this person behaving like this? Is this person trained at all? Like, why do people do this kind of thing? So I feel that the only way you would ever want to think that way is because at some point you were taken on another journey in life, and all of a sudden you meet with someone who has a different culture. In sociology, it's called ethnocentrism, when you're shocked by the culture of another person, right? So how do you think lack of some of these things that you have mentioned, is affecting our society today?
So usually I think we as human beings, before we're even born, our parents more or less have already dictated okay, so a lot of us, when you look at it, for a child, before a child is born, his life has already been predetermined by his parents. What I mean by this, that look, if your parents went to university, there's a higher likelihood you probably go to university. If your parent probably went to some kind of, Ivy League school, they will likely want to push you to go to that direction. If your parents didn't go to university, maybe they're just a bricklayer. Unless the system really encourages you to go to school, they may just be comfortable with you just being a bricklayer. So a lot of time, your life is already predetermined. Now, based on that, it means if you're not careful, you can almost live a structured life that, okay, I'm born, whatever my parents give me, that's it. And if you look at the way our system runs, most time we're kind of instructed on what to do. Oh, this is what to read. This university you go to. And when people are done, it's like, okay, go out there and look for a job. Like what my parents try to do, get your degree and go and get a job. That's it. But at one point, you have to start, you have to just wander out of this track and say, like we say, have an open mind and now start to think, what if life is really not like this? Are there other options? What else can I do? When my parents live the best, life as a couple, can it be better? When you start asking yourself those enriching questions, then you start looking for new answers. That's when you start to seek. So someone that never really taken time to do all those things, it's easy for the person to say, I am complete. There's nothing else to change. So if the guy is arrogant at work, he's probably just going to carry that there and it's just going to be arrogant to everybody without really questioning that maybe I'm the one with the problem. Like you said, you talked about earlier, you said something about greeting. If your life just feel, look, I only need to greet you once. You go to a different place, everybody are just greeting lunch, afternoon, hey, hello, bonjour, good afternoon. You're like, you might be a bit cultural struck that why is everybody doing this thing? You're like, this is not necessary. And people might see you as being rude. But it's not left for you to say, you know what? How do I adapt? I think that's one skill human being must learn, the ability to evolve, adapt and say, okay, how can I be a better person? That attitude to learn to be a better person. Once you have those things, it's easier to now start seeking whose path can I follow? Who will be my role model? My parents can't do it alone. My parents cannot teach me how to run business. My parents cannot be how to run a good marriage. My parents cannot be enough to how to manage my business better. My parents may not be good enough. If my father was a bricklayer and he never wore shirts and suits, how will he teach me how to wear a tie? He doesn't understand. If your parents never had to wear a cufflinks, how would he understand that, look, this is how you wear a cufflinks? He doesn't understand. So he can't pass that knowledge to you. You need to go out there and seek it. So I think you as an individual, you need to have an open mind, build your emotional intelligence, be able to see things, assess things, observe. I think that's when true learning starts. And for me, it always begins with the individual, not people out there. Go back to toddlers. Toddlers are not told what to do. They self-motivate themselves to say, you know what, I want to crawl. You don't teach them how to crawl. They just realize that people are moving. I want to move. You as an individual, you have to realize that people are doing some great things. I want to do those great things. And the moment you start to follow that path, you start to say, look, so who do I follow to follow on this path? That's where role model comes in. Okay, so who do I follow this path? Who will be my mentor? Who can I meet? Who, like I said, Yoruba, who's the egbon that I can meet to reach out to teach me on this thing? And eventually, who's the friend? Sometimes it could be a very close friend that maybe already has a good, he has built a business around how to manage people and can also guide you in terms of coach you to be a different person. So first, the individual, learn to self-motivate.
Okay, now I think that you have taken the next question out of my mouth already, because I was going to say that if these important values are lacking in our society today, I wanted you to tell us what we can do about that. And, you just strongly emphasized now that self-motivation is key. You need to be able to stimulate yourself as an individual to want to do more and to want to be more. Now, I just have a feeling that we should be a little bit more practical. Let's say, for instance, there are some areas in Lagos, for example, and these areas are way, way behind. They are backward. And the people in these places as well are just they are just both in their minds, and their minds are in the place that they are in, because they don't ever grow out of those areas. I mean, the slums, the ghettos and the rest of that. But then you realize that there are a few young minds in those areas, and maybe some of them are listening to us right now. Tunde, what would be the practical steps that you want this guy or this girl to take?
Okay. So wherever you are in the world, even if you are living in some kind of chateau in France or some kind of ghetto in Ajegunle, wherever it is, as a human being, we always want more. I think that's one of those ingrained in all of us. We want more. We are insatiable. We just want more. So if you're in the ghetto or wherever it is, what to call it, there's a part of you that says, I'm tired of this. You must get to a point, I think you must say, I think I'm just tired of waiting for just every 10 naira per day. How can I get more? Now, the question is what directions you want to take to get more. There must be a part of you that feels, I'm watching this guy, I love the way he dresses. How can I dress like that? Well, for me to dress like that, I need to earn more. So there's a part of you that you must first start by saying, you know what, I want more. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. Once you want more, I always say, go back to us as children, toddlers. They want more. They want more food. They want to play more. They want to walk. You must want more. That's what makes us human beings. The more now how do you channel that energy? Is you seeking for toddlers, it's their parents first. But as an adult, if you're 18 or 17, there's a point you realize that my mom that sells beans on the road, she's not mentally capable of maybe landing me a job, maybe let's say MTN or something. I need to go to school. So I need to find maybe one of our cousins or auntie that maybe went to university and say, sorry, auntie, I want to go to this university. How can I be like you? Are you seeing that now? Mentor, how can I be like you? Say, you must write JAM, do well in your WAEC. Are you seeing that as mentor? Write JAM, do well in your WAEC. Now, that person doesn't have time to teach you WAEC. Or sorry, how to read, do well in your English, mathematics. Let's talk about the basic. So what do? You not go to go and find a lesson teacher, maybe someone that is in the university year 1, but you hear that he's studying engineering. This guy must be good at maths. You go and meet the guy. My brother, how you doing? I heard you are studying engineering. I hail you, please. I'm having problems with algebra. I'm having problem with this. I also want to write JAM next year. He's okay, fine. You know what? I will structure a time for you. Meet me 5 o'clock. I only have 1 hour for you. That's the guy that can now take you. Are you telling me the basic steps of what? Algebra. And that person, I think basic stuff, okay, how to write an essay, how to help your pronunciation. I remember the lady who said I work at MTN, doesn't have time to tell you, but he just told you what to do. Go and write your JAM, do this and pass. These other guys that you've gathered now will not help you do well. Then guess what? You do well in your WAEC. You make it to the university. You're already on that what? On a pathway. I get what I'm saying? Your head, you're like, I want to be like my auntie that works in MTN, or my auntie that works in so, or my uncle that works here. That's your basic mentor. I get my point. Your uncle doesn't have time to sit with you and say, now that you're in university studying physics, let me teach you that. He still won't have that time. What do? You now get to university. What do? You want to do well. So go to a tutorial classes. Am I correct? Group of friends that's equally, maybe much smarter than you are, that will help you do well in the exam. At the end of the day, slowly, are you seeing how you've evolved from the guy that was just helping your mom sell beans? Now you are in the university. Now you're on the path of maybe getting a 2-1 or a first class. Your mind, have you seen your mind is beginning to change? At that moment, you're no longer thinking like your mother or your father. Your idea, your views of life are starting to change. You are meeting different people from different walks of life in your classroom. Some guys that are dad maybe is a CEO of some company. While someone too that is equally, his mom too is also selling, or his dad is selling meat. But you also see the motivation that guy has, that this guy's like, I cannot go back to where my dad and mom are coming from. I know where I'm going. Before you know, you and that guy are now aligned in vision. You guys now to guide yourself. That guy, I want to make 2-1 here. Both of you now start to help yourself. Are you seeing how both of you now start to help? Before you know it, you guys are done university, you seek a job, and you probably get a job. That's just one small element. But it always starts with you. Have an open mind, self-motivating, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more.
Mm, mm, really profound. Thank you so much, Tunde, for sharing. And I like the way you tied it all up together. You know, what you said now, you took it back to finding a coach or a mentor, you know, in getting out of where you are, not being stuck there, and moving on towards success in life, no matter where you are. So I hope our listeners are able to take one or two things from our session. And at this point, I'd like to ask if there's anyone out there listening who has a question. Please head over to the live page and drop your questions there. We will see it, pick it up, and of course, give you some response in the course of the broadcast. So please go over to the live page. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know what you're gaining from this session. And if you have any questions at all, you can drop your questions there. If you have contributions as well, go right ahead and leave your comments in the chat area. Thank you so much, Tunde, for coming today. But before we wrap up, I just want to ask this. I just want to ask this final question. It's a little bit personal. So I'd like to know if there are certain areas of your life where you feel or think that you still need mentoring.
Plenty. You know, I want more too. I believe we can have a better society in Nigeria. And so for me, I've been spending a lot of time reading about great men that has helped change the course of history in their country, you know, to see that pivotal point, what they did, you know, that just triggered that change. You know, you can't do it all. You can't do it all. And then learning how to build a team slowly so that we can, with one vision in mind, on the greater path. For me, I'm very passionate about this country. And I think it's all we have. And when I mean this country, I mean, you know, Nigeria as a whole, or even sometimes for me, it's even far beyond Nigeria, the continent. I think there's so much we all can do. I think there's a reason why I'm placed here. And I think there's a reason why I've invested this time in knowledge gathering. So why would I have all this knowledge and just sit down on it and just sit down and just be drinking coffee? Life is more than that. You need to go out there. You need to change lives. And you can do it slowly, including yourself, building those guys you talk about in the slum, making them, because we talk about people in the slum. We forget that they didn't put themselves in the slum. The society, more or less, put them in the slum. So they don't deserve to be in the slum.
Tunde. Please, could you say that again?
Okay. A lot of time, when we talk about people in slum, we kind of think they just walk up one day and say, you know what? I feel like being in the slum. No, the society put them there. Remember I said, a child when he's born, the parents already predetermined your life. So if your father is an agbero and your mother sells beans around the park and they got married or they just have you, chances you'll be living around the park and that's what you see. But what society is supposed to do is that, yes, you were born in that environment, but as a society, we are going to help you mold you to a better person. So that even while we are molding you, you can even start molding your own parents as well. So you are doing part of the work for us too. At the end of the day, we become a better society. Look, Nigeria cannot go anywhere if we don't carry every single Nigerian along. We need to understand that. And so for me, it's all about what role do I have to play? Remember, you can't do it all. You need to look at the puzzle, big one, and say, where's my own part in this puzzle? Mold yourself, motivate yourself, and find how you key into that puzzle so that we have a beautiful Nigeria. We can't do it all, but we all can do it together.
Wow. Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing today.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. It's eye-opening. Simple things you have said, but I am seeing myself. I am seeing strategies. I am seeing what I need to do. So no one has reached the limit yet. We are all just starting at I mean,
Absolutely.
within our own context. So, both for myself, I'm seeing strategies on what I need to do. I realize that I haven't even started at all, and I want to encourage anyone and everyone who is listening to this right now today that you can be all that you want to be. You can get out of that place. You
Absolutely.
can become who you want to become. It begins by having that desire and taking just the very next step that needs to be taken. One of those steps is for you to listen to this over and over again, which is why I encourage you that if you truly want to soar in life, this is the place for you to tune in and ensure that you keep listening to the recordings. There's a show reel section if you want to catch up on what other motivated and goal getting individuals have shared on this same topic. Please go right ahead, listen to these recordings, share with your friends, and let them be encouraged as well. And from there, you will gain the confidence, you know, you will overcome that inertia of just trying to move, trying to get started. You just find yourself taking the steps already without even knowing it, because we are all in this together. Tunde, thank you so much for sharing
Absolutely.
with us. I have taken, I mean, look at it, my notes is full already. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing with
Thank
us
you.
today. And before you go, I'd like you to please tell us your various social media handles and how our listeners can get to connect with you.
So my name is a very long name, Tunde AKINDULURENI. So once you get that, you're fine. So on Facebook it's Tunde AKINDULURENI. On Instagram it's still Tunde AKINDULURENI, or Tunde.AKINDULURENI. It's still Tunde AKINDULURENI. And on LinkedIn it's Tunde AKINDULURENI. I just made it easy. So once you know Tunde AKINDULURENI, wherever it is, it's still the same person. You can't miss it.
Okay.
Just look out for that smile.
Okay, so Tunde Akindulureni, I'm going to leave that name
Yes.
on the live page. Please go there. You see the spelling, you see the name. Go right ahead, copy it and paste it on your search engine in Facebook and Instagram, and truly you will see his smiling face there. Thank you so much today.
Thank you very
It feels
much.
like we should start this session again because I know that you still have so much to
I mean, I don't mind them.
it looks like you still have so much to pour into our young folks listening, but I'm going to leave it till the season 2, where you will be delving into, you know, certain specific topics. You know, we're going to be dealing with certain specialized areas of the life of a young person, and we will be diving deep
Okay.
into that. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate
Thank
you.
you,
At
Tosin.
this point, I'd like us to draw the curtain. I'd like to thank all our listeners for tuning in. Ensure to also look for SOAR on Instagram. Of course, it's by my name, Tosin Babalola. So follow the page so that you can get to know and you will remain abreast of the subsequent episodes that will come up after this. But until then, do stay safe, stay sane, and always soar. God bless you. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
But Ugu to mine. I'm like, what is Ugu? Ugu is one correct vegetable in my village. That way, you know, he has gone through it. And he's now, guess what? He's now remodeling the whole process. I think it's very, very important for everybody. That's why I said mistakes. People like to move away from mistakes. Yeah, because they're trying to just go in those baby steps. Sometimes make those mistakes, fall. But when you get up, nobody needs to open your eye for you. There are some parts you say, lie, I am not going to follow through that path, because you know what happened and you saw it coming. So anytime you see situation like that come, it is to help you make informed decisions on the way forward. So that's just it. Allow mistakes in your lives. You know, not deliberately, no, but don't be afraid. Don't beat yourself because you made a mistake. It's normal. But at the end of the day, your life is more enriched from those mistakes you have made. At the end of the day, you find out you are a much balanced person.
But Tony, let's
That's just it for me.
let's even talk. So this recording we just had now, did you have any slight, you know, did you envision anything as to how far you can go?
Oh,
The
your
impact of
program
it.
or
Yes,
the
just this session we had now.
I think it's largely dependent on how much you want to drive it.
No, I'm just saying you
Good
going
message.
all out in your imagination now. Just take it up.
As on my own side.
Yeah, as in like just going all out.
It's me. This is where I talk normally. So this is me. This is normal. This is my day-to-day life. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It looks like we'll be out of here in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never
So
had
for me, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
For me, yep. So for me, the way I've spoken right now is if you meet an average person that walks or lives around me, they'll say this is where I talk. It's just me. And I think it's as embodied books I've read, people I've met and everything. So it's just as I talk, it's like different data just keeps coming to my head and they just start to pour it. I'm not very good with quotes because I try not to remember too many people's quotes because how many can I remember? But I feel as you work, you yourself can have great quotes because those people that you quoted, they didn't quote anybody. It's things that they said people quote. So it means you too. Once you have some things you've gone through, you should be able to quote something out to yourself. And that's just it.
Okay. Wow. Well,
have you had breakfast as well?
Yes, but all those while we're trying to get ourselves together and everything. I was having serious ulcer pains, but it's sorted now. So it's like I've had breakfast twice. But it's fine.
Yeah.
I've been using Zoom without the time restriction. But all of a sudden, it's asking me today. Wow.
They're upgrading the platform.
And it's asking me to upgrade. And the funny thing is that I actually started doing Zoom meeting moderation, anchoring, co-hosting, and all of that for fee. For fee, right? Yeah, so I've only been leveraging on the fact that my Zoom has been free. Where I want to come.
I think it's not that they're just upgrading their own platform. So I think right now they moved it to maximum 1 hour for 45 minutes. I can't remember.
Yeah, 40 minutes. But
yeah,
I didn't used to have that 40 minutes. I used to
yeah, but the good thing is that you can always log in unlimited.
I'll not go until they throw me out of this meeting because I used to have meetings for over 1 hour before.
But the good thing right now, if we log out, you can always log back in. Still get that 45 minutes. So,
but not when you have given it out to people who are paying to attend the meeting and you've told them that their meeting will be
it's going to be a 1 hour.
2.5 hours.
1 hour. But how much is the price for the one that you pay? I think they're different grades.
I've never even paid before. And the list is about 7,000 naira for a month.
For a month. So you just have to wait now. Wait. What is that you want?
I touched on the settings recently, so I think I should take it back to status quo.
Maybe go back to status quo and see what happened. Maybe from there they spotted you. Say, aha, Azimuele.
What's it baton?
But by the way, they've changed it to 45 minutes, 40 or 45 minutes. Because even when we have it in some groups, it's within 40 minutes cuts off, then we have to log back in. But I think your customers can understand now. Yeah, so they can always log in again. I don't see anybody.
Because what I still deliver is more than the logging in and logging out. Sherry is me that will announce that we're about to go off, and when we're coming back in, make sure you bring somebody. Make sure you bring somebody else along.
You can even use that as a break time.
I beg, let me know.
Package as a break. That guys, I want to take a 5 minutes break. You guys, all of you. So do you know what you can do? You can use it as a health gimmick that you don't believe people should sit down for more than 40 minutes. So you are going on a 5 minutes break, guys. Get up, jump around, shake up. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So if they don't quickly get it that thing is cutting off, they just know that that's your own style. So in 5 minutes, guys, I'm back. Hope you freshen up. You're going to weave. You're going to do this. You receive that call. Blah, blah, blah. So that's your 5 minutes break. We are back on now. Ready? Boom. Are you seeing
exactly.
that? Oh, now packaging now.
Now packaging.
Oh, now packaging.
I'm
now packaging.
That 6,000, I mean 7,000 something. I would rather use it for something else.
No, just hold on. Just hold on. I'm sure they themselves will remodel their prices because them too they will see it as okay. How do we make it much cheaper? How do we make it more affordable? You know, right now they are the hotcakes, so they're trying to absorb.
Their whatever net worth has even gone down now because life has gone back to normal. People no longer do online meetings like before.
Yeah, but they do. So what they're trying to do is absorb. So later they'll remodel, and they're not the only one doing it right now. Google has theirs, all of them. So everybody has gone into that kind of brand of business. So it's going to be very competitive. So like any other brand, you want to take as much as you can take right now and use that on some other businesses. That's what they're doing right now. And obviously they'll remodel their prices because people will still be having Zoom meetings, you know, but it may just not be as the height it was in the month of maybe July or June. Or that period where you full panic mode.
So do you still do graphics?
So this is what happens right now. So I evolved from graphics to travel industry based on what happened. So I looked at graphics then, right? So what I'm saying there now, we're in 2020 now. I started Climax of 2006. Registered in 2007. So we're talking about by 2004, 2003, I started thinking, okay, so let me just say 20 years ago, maybe, you know, in 2000, 2001, I started thinking that, okay, what would graphics be in 20 years' time? I get to my point. Will it be a product that more people have gone into, number one? Will it be profitable, number two? How do I expand as a graphic designer? I mean, then it was just me doing graphics, you know? And I saw it as a business that could be, you know, my strategy could just be born around me. It's all around your tailored customers. For me to evolve as a graphic, either I move into the area of advertising. So I become an advertising firm, you know, whereby we get jobs, where we do that graphics for them, because those are the ones that you can get big jobs. But as a graphic design individual, because I know that Nigerians, let me say African generally, or let me use Nigerian first, since I've not worked in Morocco or France, so I really don't know fully well. But Nigerians generally don't appreciate art as much. So when you talk graphics, they can use graphics as art. You get my point? But they're forgetting that graphics communicates. Art doesn't have to communicate to you. So a guy can just do an artwork, right? And put this thing, see this sticker, and put it on the floor and say that is art. You say, what is it? He doesn't have to explain himself to you.
He can write a novel out of it.
And you get my point? If he has a beautiful curator, then you say, you know, when the artist will woke up in the morning, he saw the black something, he was from Africa, they'll be like, oh, that's so good, that's ingenious, right? And so I'm gonna pay $1 million for it. Is it communicating to you? Nothing. But a graphic designer cannot carry con and say it's art. He must communicate something. So look at that CNN advert. It's simple. They just say, it's the CNN app, you know, they use Apple. So let me say, this is a con. You can say whatever it is, but guess what? This is a con. Fact first. Are you get my point? They use fact first. So this is an apple. You can call it, because they're trying to talk house, you know, President Donald Trump always says they bring fake news. They're like, this is an apple. It's not a mango. It's not orange. It's a fruit, but that is an apple. You can call it anything. Tomorrow you choose something, but guess what? It's an apple. That is the fact. Fact first. That's a graphic designer that's thought about the whole elements in it. That's a job. And that's a process. There's a thinking process to that. So for me to evolve, I think I'll go turn to an advertising company. Now, advertising company in Nigeria has been run by at least just 3 or 4 big companies. Are you getting my point?
You log in again. It's less than a minute now. This is so annoying. I used to do over 1 hour.
It's not annoying. It's okay. It's
annoying.
okay.
It's annoying.
Don't
Because
worry,
I don't know how to fix it.
Don't fix it. Enjoy it. See it as part of the elements. You know, see it as
curiosity. I wanted to see how I could stream to Facebook from Zoom.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Then you would know for consultants.
No, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. You know, so that's just it. And I saw that advertising company, they're like big 3 or 4 advertising companies. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So the same way right now, it's like someone trying to go into